of doing things, and I thought I'd show you guys how the pallet garden is coming along. I have to say that it is the best of all the gardens I've ever tried and killed. I asked my little brother to clear Dad's bamboo grove so that with the dead things so that the new ones could grow, and we got some more work to do here. Spring has sprung, things are growing. It's time to start mowing and maintaining more, and hopefully moving stuff back here to establish the preserve a bit more, get the preserve to reclaim some in this grassland. Uh, there, I'm going to show you why that's really bad, but yes, it's their land, but it's bad. This is how the pallet garden is working so far. Normally by now I'm struggling to keep things alive, and invasive lizard there, but we've been seeing more green lizards since we've been working to get nature straight, and the green lizards are the native ones, and the brown ones are invasive according to I forget who we spoke with about the matter. Normally by now I'm struggling to get things up. This might be all we do this year because there's just so much else to do. I can't spend the whole time doing the garden. And of course, Parakeet over here is having a fit that I stepped a few feet from the house. Parakeet! 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 Yes, you're my darling. But let's show you why. One reason why what they're doing back there on land that they're not using that was, actually this is bullfrog. Bully bull bull. I'll put food down for you guys in just a minute. Is the palmettos, which I need to put back there to reclaim. We're gonna basically use Florida land sculpting to do like a thing where we're gonna have the palmettos set, and yet we can still access it through trails or something. I've been doing occasional research on the matter, things that the University of Florida is recommending, and things on how to do it. What we have here are, as far as I can tell, judging by the sheen on the leaves, silver saw palmettos. Now, there's a green saw palmetto. I think those over there are green. But the silver ones, which is what I grew up around my whole life and took for granted that the people behind us are tearing down, turns out they're rare. And that would suggest that if things keep going the way they're going, much like the pitcher plant in Florida, of which we have 7 varieties, and all of which are either under watch or endangered. Well, the silver saw palmetto, which people think is a pest plant, but is really great ornamentation. You can actually eat them. There's a butterfly the larvae of the butterfly lives in them, and I forget, there's another one. Anyway, they're very important. Anyway, we have silver saw palmettos. We have a rare plant on land that belongs here, that was here when we moved in, when all of this was no people, it was all wildland, and there were no people tearing things up, when it was trees and wild boars and armadillos. Yeah, armadillos. We used to have this armadillo that lived right about where I'm standing, actually, on the edge of the property. So I was talking to a family relative the other day about the property, and I mentioned that we were going to start land sculpting, hopefully this year, to, well, I don't know, neaten it up, make it better, reclaim spread the preserve, obey mom's wishes, and preserve nature, which I'm all down for. And, well, at the same time, not being a waste of land, because certain people who have nothing to do with your land seem to have a problem with how you do your land. It's your business, And, of course, my family member is telling me, don't plant those horrible palmettos that we had around us as kids. Plant this other saw palmetto. You can make tea out of it. And it's like, no, I'm going to pick what was native here when we got here, because it's a preserve. I'm not sure what part of preserve people don't get. I mean, I've had people who come here and they're like, my husband too. Well, that area with the log, which is really awesome for sitting, it's a really nice quiet place. Well, we need to clear that out. What part of preserve don't you get? And my husband, well, we need to clear out all the stuff in the back, chop down all the dead trees, or, well, there's not really many dead trees back there, but you know, basically we can make firewood out of that backyard. And I was like, what part of preserve don't you get? The part where you preserve it and let nature have its way. We only have like an acre and a half here. If I had the money, I would be buying the land around me. I'd be offering my neighbors $1 million for their homes just so I could expand the preserve if I had the money. Because we have silver saw palmettos, and we used to have pitcher plants. I haven't really looked hard out there in the swampy spot to see if the pitcher plants remain. We have Florida blackberries. Those trees are invasive, but they're so big I don't think we can remove them, and so we're kind of stuck with those two trees. We have cedar trees. We have nature that comes through. As I mentioned earlier, since we started doing these efforts, I've noticed the green lizard has started to make a comeback this year. I don't know what else. I mean, I'm learning about the nature here too as I go. I had no idea the silver saw palmetto was rare until I was looking it up this morning to see how much it would cost to buy some, so that I could, about that. But I noticed over there by that silver saw palmetto, there's a couple of shoots coming out. So if I can get them ready together, we'll of course buy bigger ones, because that's a more sure thing. I'll also be trying to move the shoots. Like this is a green palmetto, and they too were here, but because of I always noticed that when I was growing up, some were green and some were not. I always thought it cool. I was like, this palmetto has cool color to it, you know. So when you're a kid, you do your palmettos all different colors because that's how they are. Well, I'm going to be concentrating. Well, I probably could do a mix, but because of the saw palmetto's plight, got to clean this mess up, man. Hopefully we'll get to that this weekend. We clean a spot and it just doesn't seem to make a dent. I swear to God, it's so bad here. But I mean, you can see the difference on this one too. You can actually see the color difference. But I mean, if I could just purchase that property next door, I would live in it. Yes, I would probably live next door. And yeah, all those palmettos back there would be saved. That nature back there and that vanishing environment. I was told by the lawyer that the woods around here that used to be so vast, they got, chopped down and turned into rich people housing developments, and these rich people moved in. And they complained about the nature here, specifically the peacocks. So there's been, honest to God, clearing efforts on areas that were supposed to be preserved and protected and had been my whole life because somebody complained that a peacock was loud. I mean, I'm sure there's more to it, but this is the story I was told. And I'm just like, look, guys, if you don't want to deal with nature, don't move into nature. Stay in your little high rises, stay in your apartment buildings, in your cars, in your mess. Leave the nature alone. Because we're already having, did y'all know that the earth has a sound? And a few years ago, the sound of nature was just a whisper compared to what it used to be. And it's because of this. No, I'm not saying that we should, all live in smart cities. No, we should learn to coexist, cohabit, and protect, which is what my brother and I are doing here, mostly me. And I hope to, man, I wish I could win a $1 billion lottery. I would protect this place. It would still have a home over there. you know, but other things would have homes too. Uh, and solar power. I've always wanted solar power in my home. Anyway, yeah, now the cats are coming up for their daily confessional. Come, tell me, what is your issue today? And I will split your babies in half. Come here. Come on, booty booty. And my boo boo. He's my buddy. Yeah. Alice. But that's what's going on. Silver saw palmettos, guys. If you have a backyard, you do not know. Or, you know what, I'll take that back. You may not know what important environmental thing you've got back there. That palmetto over there by the tree up there. It looks pretty. It's not hurting nobody. It's great. And another person would chop it down because saw palmettos. It's a saw palmetto. Why? Am I going to be rolling into it? No, let it be. Let it be. It's like the story of the Johnny Appleseed tree. It was going to get chopped. This tree was going to get chopped down in California. And I heard this off of Casey Kasem, mind you. And, you know, quote unquote tree huggers saved it. People basically rose up to save this centuries old tree or however old this tree was. And they managed to stop it from getting chopped down. And then it turned out it was the very last surviving tree of the ones that Johnny Appleseed used to plant. And I'm very proud to say that in my house up north, I happen to have one of its saplings in my backyard. But yeah, so you be careful what you chop down. I mean, some of this stuff's got to go. I don't have a choice for that matter. Like, I noticed that the blackberries are trying to, and we're going to be mowing them down. I'm sorry, guys. And that's where the palmettos come in. They'll help control that, and they'll landscape it. And they'll help keep the place cool. They'll keep it neat. Deer and things will have stuff. There'll be places for the wildlife. I mean, the armadillo that used to live next door, he lived underneath a palmetto. Yes, bullfrog. And my bully bobo. Okay, well, I guess that's it. I just thought it would be important to share. I mean, you can even see through the trees now to the back of the neighbors. It's just terrible. You know, it's their property, but, you know, I worry that their actions is going to spread so that people force us to destroy the preserve. And if we have silvers, we have, you know, God knows what endangered things are here. All right, that's it. I'm going to try to figure out how to stop this. I know there's a way. How do you stop it?